afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to look again at the auction because there are more tanks to choose from. And to be fair, I think this round is probably the worst. It's the worst yet. Mainly because obviously the tanks, that is the main reason why people are here. But not just about the tanks, but also I think about the starting prices, or the prices they are currently at. I know I'm a bit delayed on the video, but even now, the prices I don't think are that worthy, in my opinion. There is some good tanks there, of course, and there are some good that with the price, but that's if they get to the price. So first of all, you know, normally on any auction you do see sort of tier 7s, tier 8s, tier 9s and tier 10, but this round there is no tier 10, which I am very disappointed at. So we're going to start from the beginning and work our way till the end, and we'll decide which one is the one I would probably go for. So the Type 62 Dragon, very good tank, and actually it's a must-have tank in my opinion. Now usually you can get this for around 3.5k gold when it comes on in the stores, especially if it comes for a special offer. Currently in the auction it is 7,000 gold. I mean, yeah, it's a good tank, but you can get that cheaper. You can definitely get the Type 62 cheaper than 7,000 gold. So I would definitely wait, and you know, even the next price is 6,000. I would, even if it doesn't drop any lower than that, I would probably even just wait for it to come as a special offer, a special bundle, because honestly 3,000, even maybe 5,000 max with the camouflages and stuff. So yeah, I personally wouldn't go for that, even though it is a fantastic tank. Next up, the AMX Defender. It's an okay tank, you know, it's not the best Defender. 7,000 gold. I would probably, you know, the next price drop, 5,250. That's a solid price, you know, that's not a bad price. It's not the best tank, it's okay, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't pay 7,000 for it in an auction. 5,250, yeah, maybe I would pay for that. But yeah, you know, these prices I think could be definitely lower. Moving on, we have the Emil 1951 at 8,000 gold. Now, when this tank was first released, it was actually okay, but nowadays it's not the best tank, and for 8,000 gold, even for the next price drop at 7,500, I probably wouldn't pay for. Now, if it's in the store, then yeah, you're probably looking maybe around this. But don't forget, this is an auction. This is the one time a year where you can get stuff for a lot cheaper than you normally would in the store. So for even 7,500 for an auction, I wouldn't pay for it even the next drop. Moving on, we have the ST62 version 2, which I absolutely hate, for 9,500. I definitely wouldn't pay for that. I wouldn't even pay 8,500 for that. So I would even just constantly just keep waiting. But to be fair, I wouldn't even look at the price of that tank. I wouldn't buy it at all. So that's one tank I personally would stay away. Next up, we have the Titan Charioteer. Now, to be fair, this is a tank that I do like, but to be fair, I do probably prefer the tech tree version of this. But, you know, we're looking at the Titan. It is a good tank, but again, I probably wouldn't pay 8,250 for it. 7,500, or 7,700 is a push, but I would maybe even wait a little bit longer, because yeah, it's okay, but to be fair, it's quite rare. It's not the rarest tanks. It doesn't come for sale often, but I would just wait until the very end at least for the Charioteer. Moving along, we have the Cobra. Actually a very good tank, but for that price, 13,000 gold. Again, we are looking at an auction. I know it's a tier 9 tank and it is a good tank, but in an auction, even sort of 12,000, I would probably be looking at around 8, 9, 10,000. I'd say 10,000 at most for this tank in the auction. But you know, it's still a good buy. It's still a good tank. If you get the Cobra camouflage as well, it looks fantastic. It really, really does. Moving along, we have another tier 9, the Object 752, which, to be fair, is a very, very good tier 9 tank. But again, I wouldn't pay for that. People are buying it, of course. But yeah, I would probably wait for it to go down a little bit more. Moving along, we have the Chrysler K. Now, when this tank was first released, it was a bit controversial because of the Watt version of the Chrysler K, where you had Sir Foch. If anyone remembers, he had an outburst of wargaming. They tried to sue him, etc, 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 and a lot of CCs in Watt actually quit CCs because wargaming kind of striked his channel, blah 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 blah. So when it was released in Watt Blitz, everyone was like, oh my god, it's going to be fantastic. And to be fair, I did like it. I loved this tank when it was first released. But, you know, again, as time goes on, tanks change, more tanks come in, and I don't think the Chrysler K is nowhere near as good as it used to be. But for the price, 7,500, again, 7,000 maybe. If you can get it cheaper, I would definitely try to get it cheaper than that. And then the last tank on the list, which is probably going to be the best seller, but again, you're looking at 10,000 gold for the Dracula. Now, you do have to be quick. Now, I know it's a tier 7 and I know it's 10,000 gold, but I still think this is one of the most fun tanks in the game to play. Even after all these years, it is still the most fun tank. So even at 10,000 gold, if you can't get it any cheaper than that, then I would probably use my money on that if you haven't got it. For 10,000 gold, you know, it may drop to 9,500. I don't know, but honestly, with 1,600 left, I don't think it's going to drop that much, maybe 9,500. But if it is a tank that you really, really want, 500 gold, I mean, is it worth waiting for 500 gold? Because looks like they are going pretty quickly. But again, I know it's a tier 7, but honestly, since this tank was released, when it was first released, people might know that this was one of the most broken tanks in the game. It's not quite that now, but people learn to deal with it. But it is still the most fun tank to play in the game at tier 7. And this would probably be my recommendation. I know it's 10,000 gold, but you can get it for 9,500 gold in the coming hours. Well, in a day, if they are still left. But as I've said, is it worth wasting or waiting for it to drop just by 500 gold? Now, if it went down to sort of 8,500 gold, then maybe it would be worth sort of just keeping an eye on it. But for the sake of just 500 gold, I would probably go for the Dracula and be quick, because by the time this video is released, it might not even be there. But I'm going to release it on Saturday night instead of, or Saturday afternoon instead of Sunday morning, and not have a video for Sunday. So those are my recommendations. Definitely the Dracula, the Object 752 is a decent tank, and of course the Cobra if you can get it cheaper. But let me know which tank you have got from this auction, and if you were happy with the price and what did you pay for it. Let me know in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.